isn't a car just about raw performance figures. And there's a bit of a secret that I haven't said about this car. Well, welcome again to Invictus Porsche for another review of a Porsche 911 991 Carrera S. We've had a few of these on our channel, and on this one I'd like to do a bit of a comparison between this and a 997 Generation 2. The 991 Carrera S was first introduced in the 2011 Geneva Motor Show. They were equipped with a 3.8 litre boxer engine with direct fuel injection, generating a power output of 395 brake horsepower. The books might say 400 just to make it sound good, but it's actually 395 with a torque of 440 Newton meters of torque. Now we'll compare that with the 997. Despite the wheelbase being larger by 100 millimeters and the length by 70 millimeters, the 991 has reduced in weight to 1,380 kilograms. And this is due to the use of high-strength steel, aluminium and some composites. I do now want to finalize this part of the video by talking about the gearbox. But before I talk about the gearbox, there isn't much of an engine really to see here at the back, other than two fans, top-up area for the coolant and the engine oil. You would think Porsche would have made more of an attempt to show the engine. I guess not. So if you do need to have any engine related work, you definitely either need to go to the main dealer or a Porsche specialist. Now about the gearbox. Gears 1 to 6 have a sports ratio and top speed is reached in 6th gear. 7th gear has a long ratio and helps to reduce fuel consumption by keeping engine revs low. The PDK is essentially two gearboxes merged into a single unit and thus requires two clutches. For all the 991 models, the PDK is produced by ZF Friedrichshafen. Enough about me waffling on. When it was introduced, engine, gearbox, let's just get into it and drive it and see how it sounds and how it feels and how it drives, because this is what matters. Well, what can I say? It is mesmerizing, the performance that you get from a 991 Carrera S. There's nothing that comes to anywhere close to how good it feels driving 991 Carrera S. And to be honest, for me, it's the complete package. Because the 997 from the interior were a bit outdated. I mean, it was a car on the same platform as a car that started producing sort of in the late 90s. The 991 is a completely different chassis. The engine, the gearbox, everything about it is phenomenal and up to date and up to the requirements of 21st century in some ways. The spec on this 991 Carrera S is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's mad how well spec'd it is. The only thing it's missing is the Porsche ceramic composite brakes. And just let's talk about that spec. This has PDCC, which stands for Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control. That spec item alone cost more money than the Porsche Sports Exhaust System or the Sports Chrono Plus. And it actually does have PSC as well as the Sports Chrono Plus package. It comes in the paint color of Basalt Black Metallic with a paint code of C9Z with 20-inch sports design alloys. It also has PADM, the Porsche Active Dynamic Engine Mounts, the tire pressure monitoring system, the automatic front rear wipers. And in terms of the rear engine area, you've got the Porsche Active Dynamic Engine Mounts, as well as having the parking sensors on the rear and the front. And that's just a few of the things on the outside spec. Let's get into it to talk about the interior. It has this beautiful brown interior. I mean, including having the sports steering wheel with paddle shift and this awesome brown that starts from the front dash all the way to the back. I mean, the seats are not just heated, but they're also cooling seats with the electric sliding sunroof, as well as having the option of having Bose, the HomeLink garage option. And some of the other spec item continues to be the navigation system, the mobile Bluetooth connectivity, as well as having the dual climate control option. And here in the middle, you've got all the buttons that I've talked about in terms of the specs, such as the PSC button, the Sport Plus that combines really well with the Sports Chrono Plus package, with the PASM button, as well as having these three buttons here in the middle one to lift the sunroof and the other two buttons to open and close the sunroof. And what I love about any Porsche 911 is the practicality it offers, and it is to some degree comfortable, and I can comfortably sit here for about 45 minutes to an hour. It's not ideal, but it works, and that's why Porsches are so damn practical. It isn't a car just about raw performance figures. You know, yes, we know it produces just under 400 brake horsepower, 440 Newton meters of torque. The 0 to 62 is possible in 4.3 seconds, and the top speed is 188 miles per hour. But this car is all about this, and let me illustrate. Sport, PASM on, and the sports exhaust. I hope you can hear how good it sounds. This exhaust is absolutely phenomenal. The sound of it is out of this world. And the sport steering wheel with the paddle shifts makes a world of a difference, because I'm able to just use the rear pedals here behind the steering wheel to shift down on the left or to shift up on the right. I just love the sound of it, and I just love the fact it's got the Porsche dynamic chassis control, PASM, the Sports Chrono Plus package. With all the spec this has, it makes it an absolutely perfect of a car, a peach of a car that is the ideal driver focused car. But at the same time, you know, it can be comfortable if you want it to drive it around from a grand touring perspective. But if you need to drive it similar to how I've just driven it for the past couple of minutes, I mean, it wouldn't miss a heartbeat, and it will put tons of smiles on your face, and it has done on mine. And there's a bit of a secret that I haven't said about this car at the start of the video, and that is the fact this was the model car for Porsche Center Reading. This was the car that they kept in their showroom to convince people to order the 991 Carrera S as far back as 2011. Hence why it is spec'd so well. So in some ways, this was a car that the same owner, the one owner, has kept it from 2011 up until now. It's not changed hands. So by the book, it would have two owners since new, but from a technical owner's point of view, it's still a one owner since new. So whoever buys this, I'm sure will be absolutely over the moon, and they won't be disappointed at all whatsoever. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and whether it's this Porsche 911 that you're interested in, or something else, or something that we don't have in stock, do let us know. I mean, we've got everything from a 991 GT3 RS to, you know, a 996 or an older 911 Carrera from 1985. So whatever you're interested in, from a Porsche 911, a Cayman, or a Boxster perspective, you know, we should have it in stock. So if there's any questions you've got, feel free to reach out. And just for the next while, just watch me smile and push this car around.